Happy Valentine's everyone. Being 14th of February, hii ni siku ya Valentine's, siku ya pendanao, and I hope everyone is enjoying the day. So jana imekuwa a very hot day with a lot of people enjoying love out of relationships, and having seen that expose, of which I know everyone in Kenya and mostly in Africa they have seen it, and also wenye wanadoyanga maneno yetu huko majuu pia wameona what is happening around. And I hope that as much as we want to criticize the person recording and we want to criticize the ladies being recorded, I hope that we get to learn something. So before I go into the hiyo story ya Russia na wanawake wenye wamekuwa recorded, I want us to have some conversation, and I hope this conversation is mostly going to be educative. Itufunze, and we discuss some few things that concern humanity ama human beings. Tuangalie venye tume-evolve from the time yenye watu walikuwa na interact naturally, time yenye ukipenda msichana ulikuwa unamapproach, mnaongea pamoja, mnaongea vizuri, mnasikizana. After that msichana anakuambia kwa na wazazi ama kwa na relatives, anaintroduce kwa their relatives, mnajuana na relatives, then from there mnaanza kupanga mipango yenye mtaendelea na this kind of relationship. Then we will talk about how things have changed to a moment whereby watu wanapatana kwa social media leo na kesho washakuwa mabesti, wameanza hata ku advance their relationship, wameanza hata kuwa na zile intimate relationships before even they know each other a lot. That's why sometimes you find that mmejiona tu na mtu kwa mtandao na amekuita kwake, mshaanza kuwa intimate. Mmebatana na mtu kwa mtandao, mmeanza kumintroduce kwa marafiki zako kama my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. So before we go there, I want to say that leo nitakuwa nauliza maswali mingi, so feel free to post the video anytime you feel the question is imekuwa ni swali mzuri na unaweza interact na unaweza jibu. Post the video, answer the question, then we continue the conversation. So I want to start by telling by coming up with some narratives that I've seen online. So of late, nimeona very peculiar narratives that are going on social media, sana kwa Twitter. I saw someone asking, when will there be an app yenye ina deliver ladies to the doorstep kama venye Uber ufanya ama wase wa Glovo? Like you order a woman, analetwa hadi kwa doorstep, mnafanya whatever you do, then she goes away na unaenda au unabaki unamlipa. That one concerns the commercial sex workers. I hope that treatment, kama iko inamaanisha hivyo, I don't know. But it is also weird that in today's world, people do not consider relationships as crucial as the people in the past. Unapatanga siku hizi hata relationship, mkionekana relationship yenyu imekuwa stable, naulizonga kama mko sawa, like are you guys okay, are you guys doing well? Because people hawajazoea kuona watu wakikaa kwa relationship yenye iko amicable, yenye iko na harmony, yenye mnasikizana, yenye kuna love. People say vitu zimekuwa so weird such that mkikaa in such kind of relationship ndio mnaulizwa kama kila kitu iko sawa. But in the past ulikuwa unapata mkikaa kwa relationship yenye iko na struggles, yenye iko na mambo mingi, ndio watu walikuwa wanauliza kama mko sawa, ndio wajue wenye wanaweza wasaidia. But now things have changed. So my question would be, would there be a time in our lifetime whereby we will see things going back to the old days, ama going back to normal, the normal that I know as a millennial, whereby people used to meet each other, mnajuana kwanza, mnajua mtu hata background, ama at least you know a little story about that person before you go so much further into interacting with them. To continue with that, hiyo story ya wanawake kuletwa kama products kwa doorstep, that is, kama tuseme me I am a man, I want a woman, na there are those women in those dating apps ama in those relation apps, nikirequest naletewa kwa mlango, tunafanya whatever I do, then I release them. Now swali yenye naweza taka kuuliza ni how much safe are we as people? For instance, how much safe would be the woman mwenye analetwa kwa doorstep ya umsi? Huyu mwanamke anajuaje huyu mwanaume mwenye ameletewa ama mwenye ameletwa kwake? Anajuaje kama huyu mwanaume hayuko ready kumsacrifice? Because we have seen so many things that unapata people have been interacting. Unasikia mwanaume aliattack mwanamke, akampiga, akamuua, akamficha kwa kitanda for several days, na after a very long time huyu mwanamke kutafutwa ndio anakuja anapatikana. Ama sometimes nasikia waliuana, ama a lady ama a man was killed na akatupwa kwa septic tank, kakaa for some few months, for some few years, then after that ndio anakuja anapatikana. So how safe are these people, ama what are the safety precautions that we employ when we are interacting with people online and when we are calling people into our houses? Again, we know that seti mwenye analetwa ndio anaweza kuwa kwa danger. Pia tuseme ama culprit, ama mi ni mtu mwenye napenda cause chaos ama kuwa watu sana, naweza ingia kwa hiyo mtandao nijifanye mwanamke, ama nijifanye ama ni as a psychopath, ni employ a lady mwenye atakuja kwako, then afanye vitu zenye zifai. Anaweza kuja hata akudrunk, then we come and we carry everything from your house. So what are the safety precautions that you people take when you're interacting with people over a very short time? Na interact hata mjachukana sana, unamleta kwako na unamintroduce to your property, ama you as a lady, what safety precaution do you take when you're going to a man's house without even knowing them a lot, such that guys uliza who is this person, what would you say? Utasema aje kuhusu huyo msi? Another question would be how much has the social media influenced us on the way we think, on the way we act, and on the way we live our daily life? In the past, ama in the previous videos, I've talked about ni video ya Shiro Muriuki alikuwa anaambia wanawake, girls, you need to be as shamelessly as possible, as much as you can. Like wanawake wanafaa kuwa as shameless as possible, because shameless women ama mannerless women ndio wanapata whatever they want. But at what cost are these shameless women getting what they want? Let us discuss that a little bit. You find that you as a woman umeamua kuwa shameless, okay? Then unaenda unajiingiza kwa a very awkward situation. Let's say for example, let us take your story yenye ina trend, the Russian guy. Umeamua, let me be as shameless as I can. The Russian guy comes to you, you don't know the Russian guy does not know you. So amna ile strings attached. You people do not have history about each other, so there's no way you can hold each other accountable. Now in case anything goes wrong, you don't know where to go to report, you don't know why you're going to report, because mse una history yake, mse mkianzana au kujua venye anaishingia, venye amekuwa akiishi, na pia you don't know, like in case anything goes haywire, mse hujui utaenda kumtoa wapi, apart from only the house zenye unamjua alikupeleka na phone number yenye alikupea. That's everything that you know about this person. So in case anything goes haywire, what are you going to tell people if you're going to report? Let us say for instance mseme amekurape, alikuwa amekuita kwake tu have time juane, but before the date ends msana ama anaenda kurape. What you do, go to tell the police that this person approached me nicely, he told me that we need to interact, but at the end of the day akakuja akanirape. So how are you going to start explaining this? Again, how much are women going to lose? How much are women going to be intimidated by following the social media post like be shameless, be mannerless? Is it too hard to be a little bit shameful, ama kukuwa na shame kiasi? Ama is it too hard kukuwa na a little bit cautious, ama a little bit manners? Like how much will it cost you kujua your limits, kujua when someone comes to you and maybe they have their own narrative, they have whatever they want. You as a person, you can have the power to say no, ama the power to dictate the terms. Let's say for instance, let us take the Russian guy. When the Russian guy comes to you, anakuambia ameona you're beautiful, amekupenda, can I meet you? How hard is it for you as a lady to tell the man, I will not come to your house first? But I'm not denying your advances. However, instead of me coming to your house, why can't we go to Java? That's a public place. We talk a little about ourselves. I know you better, you know me. Because unijui mi naweza kuwa danger to you, you don't know me. I don't know you can be danger to me. So how hard is it for people to have that some kind of decorum? When I lastly talked about people being shameful, and nilikuwa naongelea about how mapastors wenye wanatumia pulpit kama playground. Like as long as you know you kama as a preacher, as a pastor, ukienda kwa pulpit, hakuna mtu anaweza kuuliza a lot of questions because people respect the pastors and the pulpit. So when you are at the pulpit, unajua vizuri people are not going to be questioning you a lot. So you start using it as much improperly as you can. Hii ni story ya Kanyari venye amekuwa akitumia pulpit. Nilikuwa nimepeana hiyo story. There are so many other pastors. Tumeona expose the mighty prophet award venye alikuwa anatumianga his followers kwa intimidate na kuwatumia for his clout chase ama whatever the way he wants. Hiyo ni story for another day. But let me use now history ya Kanyari na venye alikuwa anatumia Naipe, the lady mwenye alikuwa exposed some time back by Opande. Alikuwa recorded. So you guys can see the trend that is happening. You call a lady, you end up recording them, but due to the social media pressure, you don't see the need of keeping those films. You end up exposing them. Unaenda ukizisambaza kila mahali. Na pia nimeona nimekuwa na nikiona stories on Twitter zenye zinasema even hizi Airbnb mnaenda, hizi lodgings mnaenda, they are not as safe as people think, because those rooms are tapped na whatever you do there is recorded na they can be exposed in time. So as you do anything, remember that kenye unafanya is always recorded, either by your partner, by people you do not know, and even the government is always recording whatever moves you make. So there's no safety. So always when you are doing something, think about that, and you should know that anything that you are doing is recorded and can be exposed anytime, anywhere, to anyone. So kumbuka about the consequences. Now let me go back to the kind of shame that I want. I want the kind of shame, I'm craving for the kind of shame that will help people like pastors in the pulpit, wakiwa wanaweza talk to their people, wawaambie vitu zenye ni mbaya. That is, if you are preaching the gospel, tell people about how when you live a good life, you are guaranteed to go to heaven. Si ati kuambia tu you end up utoe hii kind of this kind of offering ndio kuwe blessed, ama ndio uweze kuendelea lazima utoe hii tujenge kanisa, ama bila kujenga kanisa hakuna venye utajenga kwako. Ama inafika at a point whereby you are going to start praying at the vulnerable people. Unaambia hata kama hauna pesa, fuliza, Mungu atakurudishia hiyo fuliza. What kind of preaching is that? That is the kind of now shame I wanted it to come back to the church, whereby the vulnerable were seen as vulnerable, na pastors ama the preachers walikuwa wanajaribu as much as they can to help this kind of people. Now let us come back to the kind of shame that our ladies ama the people in the society should have. As a man, if you want a one night stand with a lady, the kind of shame that you can have is, okay, I am so and so. I do not have any intent to have a long time relationship. And junyi wote ni grown ups, mnapangana. Hata mimi siko ready kukuwa in a long time relationships, but let us even take 2 to 3 days to know each other. Nijue hata si lazima hata umwambie intentions zako, but umwambie, okay, we do not have this intent to be in a long term relationship, but can we at least know each other? Because in case anything in happen here, what will I tell people? Nitaambia watu nilikuwa na nani na kwa nini. So that is the kind of shame that inafaa kurudi. Like as a lady, before you engage any man, you should know them from their background, at least know a little bit about them. Because when things go haywire, when you're going to report, what are you going to report? Who are you going to report? And for what reason? So let us bring that kind of shame back. And also, let us mind about our safety as much as we can, because safety most of the time matters. If we cannot mind about our safety, how are we going even to look at the safety of others? Safety in this case, I'm talking about the moment whereby you meet someone, you don't know the intentions, and you go ahead and trust them with all your heart. You give them everything that you have, and you want to show them how much you can be fearless. Okay, sometimes we try to shame ladies for interacting with their besties, like umekuwa na bestie na mwanamke for some time, then when these guys go intimate, tunajaribu kuwa shame. I feel that is the kind of safety that people need. You have to be friends first. You know this person, ndio ujue when things go bad, how can I report this, how can I counter it, instead of just going into something, a relationship that you do not know how you can counter it. Now back into this guy of Russia. I know in our Kenya today, there is not too much to brag about. There's not too much to hold on to. So many people are looking for ways of going out of Kenya. But does it mean that when I meet a white person, ama mtu wa majuu, the only thing I can do to trap them ni ku have sex with them ama ku intimate with them? Siwezi ongea tu na wao niwaambie what I have, like what I can offer, the qualities that I have, ndio hata tuweze kuenda ama tujuane for some time, hata kama itateka a year, tujuane. Kama ni msee alikuwa serious kunibeba kunipeleka majuu, at least tukue tunajuana. Hata nikienda huko majuu, msee in case ni kitu ni happen, watu wangu wajue, wakuwa wanajua niko wapi. Is it just about escaping Kenya, ama is it about countering the kind of the situations that we are in as a country? Because like as a country, I know we are in deep trouble. We are not doing very well, but is it worth it to sacrifice your safety ndio tupate hii visa tuende majuu kweli? Is it worth it? Juu nimekuwa nikiona even after the expose that wase wenye walikuwa wameenda Russia wakakuwa recruited into the army, most of them walikufia huko na very few managed to escape. So kulikuwa na hiyo story ya wasa naenda huko wanauliwa, na Lemado ndio alikuwa na expose hiyo story. But after that kulikuwa na mse mwenye alikuwa anamwambia, mimi nataka uniconnect sasa na wa Russia, niende nipigane, nikiponea well and good, nikiuliwa ni sawa. So are we as desperate as I know, I understand that we are so much desperate, but are we willing to die just to get out of Kenya? Ama ni it's just a way of trying to cloud chase? I don't know about that treat, but I would want to believe that ilikuwa just a way of mse kuengage Larry, ndio Larry aweze kumexpose, ndio mse apate whatever clout he wants. But it is really true that he wants to get out of Kenya by all means, either he wants to go and die and whatever. That is very sad for our country Kenya, and we should look for ways of making Kenya better for everyone. Lastly, without shaming our ladies, I would like to first say sorry for those wenye walikuwa recorded na walikuwa exposed. I know their reputation imekuwa bruised. I would also want to offer my little sense on the whole scenario. First, ladies and gentlemen, you should know that people are recording you, either willingly or unwillingly. The only difference is that those who are recording you might or might not expose your videos. Second, when you are doing anything, first, know that your reputation is on the line. If you do not care about your reputation, well and good. Also, you should know that after now everything now goes around. After when everyone stops talking, there's that thing called now inaitwa consequences. Now after everyone now has stopped talking, tumetoka kwa hiyo story ya Russia, tumetoka kwa hiyo story ya Naipai, tumetoka kwa hiyo story ya everyone else what is trending. Now tumeenda kwa story ingine tu happen. There is you now mwenye everything now inaanza kuwa overwhelming because people are not talking about it. You don't know what people are thinking. When you meet people, you don't know even what they are thinking. Always, you cannot read people's mind, of course. So kuna hiyo inakuwa now the moment of actualization. Now you start now thinking everything conclusively. Hawa watu wananifikiria aje, what is going on in their mind, wananijudge, hawanijudge. So those are the times when the depression starts coming in. So you should always consider that. Also you should consider about now the relationship among the people around you, because every time something bad happens, the only thing that follows is stigmatization, because the people around you do not want to be associated with you, rightfully or wrongfully, because you should hafai kuwa, as people, as humans, hatufai kutenga watu juu wamefanya makosa, but tunafaa kuwa tuna accommodate, we tell them on how they should live with those consequences, na for better of tomorrow tunawaambia sasa, instead of doing this you should do this and that and that. So with that said, how ready are you to live with those kind of consequences? We should always consider that. Na juu story ya Mrasha imetoka na imekuwa ikitembea, for me I hope in my storytelling I've not judged anyone. I'm not even going to tell how those one day pickups zilikuwa so cheap. That is not my business. What I would say is that you guys, as much as we indulge into escapades, as you want to fulfill your fetishes, try as much as you can to consider your safety first. Hata kama mtu unamjua aje, it's not right for you to go to someone's house on the first date. Umse umjui, you don't know even their intentions, you don't know where they come from, you don't know what are their cultures. These people wanaweza kuwa ni murderers. So before we finish, I have niko na tweet yenye nataka kusoma yenye imeandikwa na a girl on Twitter mwenye anaitwa Shala. I hope this one is going to be eye opener to every lady. Kitu yenye nasema ni, as much as we do so many things, let us consider our safety. This is a tweet from a lady to the ladies, ama to the victims of the Russian guy. This is what it says word by word. I have watched the videos of a Russian man approaching women in Nairobi and Mombasa while secretly recording them with smart glasses, and it immediately reminded me of the Rita Waeni femicide case. What disturbed me wasn't just his behavior, it was how easily trust was given to a stranger while he openly mocked it in Russian. Within minutes, phones were shared. Within hours, some were in his house. No background check, no verification, no caution. Rita Waeni similarly met with a foreigner in a short stay apartment and was later found murdered and dismembered. Her case shocked the nation, yet the underlying risk, trusting strangers too quickly, is still with us. This isn't about judging anyone, it's about preventing the next tragedy. We are living in a time of rising gender-based violence and femicide. Many victims knew and or trusted the person who harmed them. Hard truth: skin color, nationality, charm, or perceived status does not equal to safety. Predators rely on speed. They exploit politeness, curiosity, loneliness, lowered guard. I am not against socializing or meeting new people, but situational awareness can save lives. Meet in public first. Verify who you are dealing with. Tell someone where you are going. Don't do what we have just witnessed. Safety is not paranoia, it is wisdom. Genuine question: what social or psychological factors or others lead some women to lower their guard more quickly around foreign men they have just met? Hiyo ni swali. So ni nini inafanyanga wanawake ama anyone, any Kenyan, that is an African anyway, to lower our guards around white people? Si tujichunge na at least we mind about our safety, because always safety comes first. Because kitu li disturb sana si ati ni about hata even the sexual escapades ama all those fetishes. Kitu yenye ilikuwa very disturbing, extremely disturbing, ni how people trusted this guy without even knowing about his intentions ama anything. If this guy was a serial killer, within those few days that he was calling these people to the houses, he could have killed, even if not many, hata kama ni mmoja, wawili, watatu ama hata watano. That would be a great tragedy. Penye tuliongea story ya Rita Waeni, tukaongea venye she was called into a house, hadi serikali ikaingilia ikasema kukuwe na cameras kwa Airbnbs. Venye tunasema every time we are being recorded, it's only that you don't know who is recording, ama whoever is recording you might not leak your videos. Wakasema kukuwe na video cameras. Now does it mean that we cannot take cautions at these instances? Like msa iko approach when hivyo tu uko too ready kujipeana for at any cost just because they are white? Tutafakari hayo.